Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to my channel once again. This video is about the first edition of ISO 71001 2023 for healthcare. Clause 4, Context of the organization. This ISO standard for healthcare organization management has incorporated many aspects from NABH to align with its requirements. In this video, I have tried to explain the requirements of Clause 4, Context of the organization. There are 4 subclauses. 4.1, Understanding the organization and its context. 4.2, Understanding the needs and expectations of the stakeholders. 4.3, Determining the scope of the management system for quality in healthcare organizations. 4.4, Management System for Quality in Healthcare Organizations. 4.1, Understanding the organization and its context. This subclause is about your organization's business context, the business goals, and the strategic direction in which you want your healthcare business to move. Also consider the internal and external issues that are relevant to your business. Your hospital is required to define and determine the healthcare business context. Here, context means, why does the hospital exist? What is the purpose of its business? What are the business goals? And what is the strategic direction in which the hospital wants its business to move and grow? While determining the context, the organization needs to consider the internal and external issues that are relevant to its business context that may affect the ability to achieve the intended business results. Examples of external issues, new healthcare trends and requirements of the community, competitors' activities, legal, political and technological issues, clinical, ethical, cultural, and religious issues, socioeconomic conditions and social determinants of health, obstacles not allowing growth, issues that are not under control. Note: external means issues at 3 levels: regional or local, national, international. Examples of internal issues: job knowledge and awareness of the employees, eagerness of the employees to learn new things, work culture, maintaining the right nurse-patient ratio, maintaining an excellent panel of doctors. Factors relating to the organizational vision, values, goals, and objectives, workforce culture and values, religion, power structure, access to resources, social determinants of health, obstacles not allowing growth, issues that are not under control. You are also required to determine whether climate change is a relevant issue with reference to your business context. This ISO standard has specified that your hospital shall be held legally responsible for all its activities. 4.2, Understanding the needs and expectations of the stakeholders. Your hospital is required to decide and define a list of your internal and external stakeholders who are important for the management system for quality of your hospital. Your stakeholders are those interested parties who have the ability to affect your hospital's business either positively or negatively, which may have direct or indirect implications on the financial dealings of the hospital. Who the interested parties are, understand their needs and expectations, and how they contribute to the business strategy and business growth of the hospital. This ISO standard has stated that your hospital should determine whether climate change is a relevant issue or not, and whether your stakeholders have any requirements related to climate change. Some examples of external stakeholders would be the suppliers, dealers, vendors, the visitors, government organizations, non-governmental organizations, financial institutions, other healthcare organizations with whom you have business links, parties to whom you have outsourced a particular department or function of your hospital, external doctors and clinics, private nurses hired for specific duties, the society and their health needs. Some examples of internal stakeholders would be the employees, contract and or part-time workers, full-time doctors, paramedics, other healthcare workers, ambulance drivers working for you, the security and maintenance workers, the housekeeping staff. Most important requirement of subclause 4.2 is that your hospital is required to monitor the information and requirements of the stakeholders and maintain documented information on the same. You are required to show your commitment and accountability towards agreed upon expectations of the stakeholders. 4.3 Determining the scope of the management system for quality in healthcare organizations. The scope of services of your hospital should be maintained as a documented information and made available to the stakeholders. While determining and establishing the scope of your management system, your hospital is required to determine the business boundaries and applicability of the healthcare quality management system with reference to subclauses 4.1 and 4.2. Subclause 4.1 is the internal and external issues. Subclause 4.2 is needs and expectations of your interested parties. Your business boundaries should include the organizational structure of the healthcare system of the hospital, clinics, or sites where services are provided, including the outreach centers, if any. Both clinical and non-clinical activities and services that are included within your hospital's healthcare quality management system are integral parts of your business boundaries. Note: if any item or aspect is not included in your scope, then you should give the reason for it and maintain it as a documented information. Documented information here would mean a manual or any other kind of document. This documented information should contain the details of the reasons of exclusion from your scope. 4.4 Management System for Quality in Healthcare Organizations. This is basically the interactions of processes which have to be documented and outlined in detail, with evidences of implementation of the processes, have interaction of processes charts, both at the organizational level and at the department level. Separately for each department, you could use a simple Excel sheet to prepare the interaction of processes chart. To bring in clarity to the chart, you could use a coding system to specify the interactions. I have used a combination of colors and symbol. Example of coding system. With the color in the first box, I have indicated a process not interacting with itself. The color in the second box indicates a process not interacting with another process. The tick mark in the third box indicates a process interacting with another process. Example of interactions of processes chart. I have created a fictitious interaction of processes chart. As an example, here I have put the same headings in the columns and the rows. These are top management role, financial services, recruitment, communication, patient satisfaction. With the colors and the tick mark, I have indicated the three aspects of the coding system. Note: this chart is only a representation of how to prepare the interaction of processes chart. Once prepared, this chart should be reviewed periodically for its continued suitability and kept updated all the time. It is up to you as to how you want to specify and indicate the process interactions, as long as they conform to your organization's own requirements and the requirements of this ISO standard. Remember, just charting out the interaction of processes is not sufficient. You need to define the processes and their interactions in detail, with evidences of implementations. I have given a fictitious sample chart for defining the processes and their interactions in detail. I have broken it up into 4 sections for better representation. But when you are preparing this chart, include all the sections in one sheet. The complete chart should look like this. The headings of the columns are: first column, main process; second column, interactions with; third column, process details. There are 4 sections: recruitment, person assigned for the recruitment process, responsibilities and authorities of this task, risk analysis of the recruitment process. The main process is recruitment, which is given in section 1. Thereafter, the other processes are a part of the recruitment process. Let us call these other processes the subprocesses. Broken up into sections for better understanding. In section 1, the main process recruitment is interacting with the top management, the HR department, the finance department, and with the communication system. In the process details column, you are required to give brief details for each. In section 2, the subprocess is person assigned for the recruitment process. Here you are required to mention the designation of the person responsible for the recruitment of employees. In section 3, the subprocess is responsibilities and authorities for this task. Here give a brief detail of the tasks assigned to various suitably qualified employees. The performances of these employees should be monitored to ensure that the desired results are achieved. In section 4, the subprocess is risk analysis of the recruitment process. I have given some examples for conducting the risk analysis. These could be candidates submitting fake degree certificates, fake experience certificates, etc. You are required to have an action plan to prevent such risks from taking place. Here, just give a brief detail of your action plan. It is preferable if you maintain a proper documented procedure for the interactions of processes, defining the processes and their interactions in details. I have covered the important aspects of Clause 4 to the best of my abilities. In my later videos, I will try to explain the other auditable clauses in detail. Hope you have found this video helpful. Thank you for watching. If you have liked the information that I have shared with you, then please like my video and subscribe to my channel. Once again, thank you very much for watching till the end. Have a great day.